Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice one.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene Edwards. You are watching Lubed for November the 29th, 2022. This is my game review for the Edmonton Oilers Florida Panthers matchup that happened yesterday on the 28th. Also, it was Indigenous night at the Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta. What an amazing game that was, but more so, what an amazing event that the Edmonton Oilers held for the Indigenous people of Alberta. The Edmonton Oilers actually did their warm-up in jerseys that were had the Oilers logo, but it was surrounded by Indigenous artwork. Very beautiful work, very beautiful jersey. I actually want to get my own jersey of that. It was just amazing. They also had Indigenous guests in the first and second period. And they had distinguished guests come up for a ceremonial puck drop that featured Connor McDavid. And just a amazing night. And then to cap it off, the national anthem sang by now, I think it's Kia Bruno. I apologize if I'm getting that incorrect. They did not actually write the spelling down, but that's what the pronunciation sounded like. So Kia Bruno of the Samson Cree Nation doing the national anthem in both Canadian and Cree. So just, you know what, spot on. Way to go, Edmonton. Way to go, Edmonton Oilers organization. Way to go. Like, this is why, one of the reasons why I'm such a huge Oilers fan is they do things right. They do things right, and I thought they did an amazing job. Plus, there was other events going on throughout the concourses. I wish I was actually at that game. I really would have enjoyed it. Anyway, let's talk about this game here. Let me just load up. Okay, so let's go over some of the game notes that I took down last night. As the first note I got is the Edmonton Oilers had very amateur defending by Darnell Nurse. Yes, Darnell Nurse. That leads to Tkachuk's goal to make it 1-0 for the Edmonton Oilers. And of course, Tkachuk does the hand to the ear because he was being booed by the Oiler faithful early on. And that's just a kick in the chest when that happens, and especially with Darnell Nurse screwing up the puck the way he did. That's something that the Oilers need to fix because it's happening too often. I understand it's going to happen from time to time, but it's happening way too often of careless mistakes like that. This happened to be game 22 of the Edmonton Oilers season. And it was the first time the Oilers had a two-man advantage. They had some really, really good looks, but no goal. And the Oilers stood toe-to-toe. They didn't, despite the Nurse flub up, they did not quit on the game. They actually outshot the Panthers 14-11 by the end of the first period. Speaking of which, the Edmonton Oilers have only led so far this season 3 times after the first period. 11 of them, they have been down. Some of the notes in the second period I had is 32-year-old Gudas trying to pick a fight with Holloway. I'll tell you what, Gudas, you're so lucky Evander Kane wasn't in the lineup because he would have knocked your head off your chest picking a fight with a young kid like that. And I don't mean to sound very violent, but that was, I don't like this old man trying to pick a fight with, like, what is Holloway, 17, 18 years old? That's ridiculous. He's lucky Evander Kane wasn't in the lineup. Hyman scores a goal, but of course it was kicked in, so it gets called back. And the Oilers blew an amazing opportunity, 3-on-1. Drove me nuts when I saw that. And then in the third period, I got a bunch of goal stats, which I'll go over with a scoring summary, which I'm going to do right now. Okay, for the scoring summary, it was, as I mentioned before, Matty Tkachuk, Edmonton's favorite, scoring the first goal of the game at 3:49 from a very bad play by Darnell Nurse. This was assisted by Sam Bennett and Nick Cousins. In the second period, Connor McDavid ties it on the power play. You don't let this guy go in alone on a breakaway or he's going to finish it. And he usually, 99.9% of the time, will. That was his 17th of the year from Nuge and from Hyman. In the third period, the Oilers take the first lead of the game from Tyson Barrie. And that was assisted by Zach Hyman and Brett Kulik at 5:18. However, Anton Lundell of the Panthers would tie this game at 10:58. And then Monitor would score a power play goal late in that game and crush the hearts of the Oiler faithful. But then the Oilers would pull the goalie and really just press and press they did as Evan Bouchard, with 4.5 seconds left on the clock, makes another historic comeback. 2 games in a row for Evan Bouchard being an absolute clutch player. That was assisted by Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. We are going to overtime, and just 22 seconds in, Leon Draisaitl buries his 13th from Connor McDavid and Darnell Nurse. And the Oilers, within a minute, literally went from 0 points to 2 points. Unbelievable game. Unbelievable ending. Just amazing. Just amazing. And you can tell how happy I am to see that happen. Just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And then the whole night itself with the Indigenous festivities that was going on. Awesome, awesome, awesome job. Let's get into the X Factor for tonight.
That's what they wanted. Rangers having trouble changing here. McDavid, beautiful move.
Okay, so for my number one X Factor tonight is the Oilers stayed persistent. When Darnell Nurse flubbed up that puck, and I hate to beat down on it, but it was a brutal mistake. That's very, very amateur. And okay, I'm done. I'm done with beating up on Nurse. But when he made that mistake, the Oilers still managed to stay at a tempo and stay ahead of the game and ahead of the action, and actually outshot the Panthers in the first period despite that mistake. So, and they stuck with it. And then when they took the lead, 5 minutes left to go in the game, they still stuck with it, and the results showed as they end up getting winning 2 points of the night. And the big guns. You got to give the big guns credit on this one, as they put out Nurse, Draisaitl, and McDavid. 22 seconds into overtime, done, over, game over, and that was it. But once again, for 2 times in a row, I am giving the major X Factor. I always do the third one as kind of the main reason. And this one, again, goes to Evan Bouchard. 2 games in a row. He did it in the Rangers and last night, as he was absolutely clutch, bearing a puck with 4.5 seconds left. Can't say nothing more. He's really starting to come around. He's coming around at the right time. That was his 3rd of the year. Obviously, the first 2 was the Rangers game previous. And just an amazing night overall. So that takes us now to the current standings. I just got to pull that up right now. As the Edmonton Oilers still remain in 7th place with 24 points. They are 11 points behind the Vegas Golden Knights. And how many points ahead of Calgary? 3 points ahead of Calgary. As it stands now, Calgary will be playing, or probably has started playing, the Florida Panthers. So if they should happen to beat the Panthers tonight, obviously Calgary will close in a little bit more. Anyway, guys, that was an amazing game. So proud to be an Oiler fan. So proud for the Oiler organization of what they did last night for the Indigenous community. Awesome job. I will be back when the Oilers take on the Chicago Blackhawks on Wednesday night. And remember, it is back-to-back nights. And I will work on trying to make separate videos. There might be a possibility I'll be able to free up some time. But until then, stay healthy, stay happy, and stay hydrated. We will talk soon. You have an amazing evening.